But right now, fire crews in Collier County are fighting an 8,000-acre wildfire. It was actually several fires that merged into one, now called the 36th Avenue Fire. It's about 10% contained right now. Long stretches of Alligator Alley are now back open, but troopers want you to drive with caution. There's heavy smoke still in the area. Agencies from all across Southwest Florida and the state are assisting. One of them is the Collier County Sheriff's Office. Their Huey helicopter is at the scene today, dumping dozens of buckets of water on these fires. Yesterday, they dumped about 120 buckets. You can see there the aviation crew getting its water from nearby ponds and canals. And the fire has already damaged more than a dozen structures, threatening homes, causing evacuations. We do have 2 shelters that are open right now. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Fox 4's Patrick Nolan. He's in the Golden Gate Estates area right now. Patrick, how is it over there?
Now, I'm on the property for Fire Station 71, if you're familiar with this area. It's right off Southwest 13th and Golden Gate Boulevard. And I want to show you what's happening in the library right across the street. Now, this is the Estates Branch Library, part of the Collier County library system. And you can see how many officers are gathered. This is one of the staging areas for this. This is where folks can come and get some water, maybe exchange some notes with other people, compare what's going on, and recharge themselves. And this has just been a massive all-out effort that's been going on ever since these fires began. We want to show you now who these folks are most worried about right now. You know who it is? If you're in a mandatory evacuation zone, they want you out of there. So we're going to show you that map. Keep in mind that we have actually marked it for you here. All the areas are marked in red. It's quite a few streets, so just take a close look. If you're in this area or you know someone who's in this area, this is a mandatory evacuation zone. We've marked the voluntary, so this is certainly suggested, but they're not mandating you leave, but they do suggest you voluntarily evacuate in yellow. And we do have a second map just to give you an idea of where these zones are. And if you want to take a closer look right now, look for the Collier County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. They're updating it by the second. We're getting their information from them and putting it on our site as well if you want it, from fox4now.com. In the meantime, we want to tell you about 2 places where you can go. Let's say you're separated from your loved one and you're like, okay, where are you? There are 2 places you can meet up. One of them is Max Haas Jr. Park, and the other one is Golden Gate Community Center. Now, our photographer, Karen Deerdorf, and I were just live, if you were watching Fox 4 News at 5, from Max Haas Park, and you might remember that it was kind of quiet when we were there. These are not specifically shelters, according to the Collier County Sheriff's Office. These are areas where you can go and meet up with the Red Cross if you need housing, but it's not where you're going to spend the night, ideally. They were open till about 2 o'clock this morning, but they definitely want you to know that if you're going to Max Haas Park or Golden Gate Community Center, this is a place for you to meet up with relatives, maybe get some supplies because they are collecting. In fact, if you want to drop off at Max Haas Park some water, maybe granola bars or fruit, not a chocolate bar, it's going to melt like you know what in this kind of heat. But that'll all go to first responders, so you can be part of helping out here as well. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis actually visited Collier County today. He came to this very area where I'm standing at Station 71 to talk to some of the officials here, and he also spoke about what he has seen as governor up in the panhandle of Florida, where they've been dealing with brush fires recently. You'll hear him mention Santa Rosa. That's a county right east of Pensacola, Santa Rosa County, where they had some really fierce fires. And that was discussed up there, maybe use hotels or motels for folks who were evacuated from their homes. Take a listen.
Well, look, I think you can be creative. So what they did in Santa Rosa, because the hotels weren't being used as much, they were able to do hotels. So I would just recommend they look at that model. We have resources. We just got to deploy them appropriately.
Now, of course, the big challenge, if you're going to use motels and hotels, is we're in the middle of this pandemic. So you don't want people closely, packed in as if it were a shelter situation. You would need that spacing. So that's an extra challenge there. Here's a challenge for you, perhaps. Maybe you think your house, obviously you're not going to be able to move it, right? But your car, your RV, that is something you can move. So there are some storage options for you that public officials have opened up. So you've got these options for you. Keep in mind the Collier County Fairgrounds is open, and then the Swamp Buggy Grounds is open as well. The Swamp Buggy race is not going on this year because of the pandemic, but those lots and fields are open. It's a safe place as of tonight for you to go ahead and store your vehicles. Now, A lot of businesses are stepping up. A lot of these folks, a lot of these emergency responders that you see right here are walking around with Gatorade and sodas and things like that. And that's thanks to donations from people like you and from businesses. The folks at Wawa actually dropped off a bunch of stuff when they went to Max Hass Community Park. They wanted our local first responders to know we consider them heroes on many levels, not just dealing with the pandemic, but also these fires now. So they donated quite a bit of food and drinks. If you want to be able to help out, you can do it. As I mentioned earlier, Max Hass Community Park off Golden Gate Boulevard is the place. We checked it out ourselves. It's not going to be congested. It's easy. You pull in, try to put your stuff in the trunk if you can, and then the volunteers will come over and take it out. They will put it and then deliver it to these first responders so you can help out. Specifically, they're talking about things that are going to have electrolytes like Gatorade or whatever, bottled water, apples, bananas, oranges, granola bars, Chex Mix. Again, you don't want anything gooey or something that's going to melt. Maybe skip the baked goods on this one. And that individually wrapped is really nice because people are taking these extra precautions because of the pandemic with the health.